Governor, thank you for talking to us about everything from vaccinations to jobs to even housing and drought in across Nevada. So first of all, Clark County, thankfully, pretty much anyone in the county who wants a vaccine, most people can get a vaccine at this point. So why should we launch this program now?
Well, the reason behind launching the program is we're pursuing every possible option we can to expand the group of people who get vaccinated. We're offering the incentives. We've increased the opportunities to get vaccines in terms of pop-ups, the hours of vaccinations, all those sort of things, trying to work with the county and the cities and the health district to make it more accessible, more available for everyone to get vaccines. Because ultimately, that's how we're going to get out of this pandemic, is to get more people vaccinated, and that's our goal.
What's a realistic goal for Nevada? We're at a 50-something% vaccination rate for at least one dose.
Well, I don't want to put a number to it because frankly, I really don't know. Nevada's notoriously been low in terms of vaccination. I think we're the lowest in the country when it came to the flu vaccine. So some folks don't want to get vaccines, just don't think that it's necessary. They say they've never gotten the flu, so why should they have to worry about getting this? One more than we have today is a good thing to do. Every day that we get more shots in arms is good. Every person that we get vaccinated is going to get us closer to herd immunity. And, you know, the troubling thing is when you look at every day I get an update in terms of the number of cases that we had, the number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths, and so on and so forth. And when I look at those number of hospitalizations, you know, they're up about 300-ish, give or take. We could have prevented the vast, vast majority of those hospitalizations if everybody would just get vaccinated. It reduces the probability of you getting the virus, and then if you do get it, it reduces the symptoms.
And in former FOX5 polls showed that about 53% were for the Vax Nevada Days program. About 47% were opposed, saying the money could be used elsewhere. What do you say to those opposed who believe that federal money could have gone to maybe jobs or unemployment or a different program?
Well, we're putting money towards both jobs and unemployment. We're doing whatever we can to balance the cost-benefit ratio of the federal money that was given to us. This has been used in other states. I mean, I think it's a good incentive program between the opportunity to win a weekly prize, to win the prize at the end, the $1 million. It goes over 8 weeks. So it'll be an investment, in fact, in saving money. If we can get more people vaccinated because of the incentive, it's going to save a lot of money and it's going to save a lot of lives. And every time you have an incentive in any business operation, the goal is to increase participation. And that's what our goal is behind the Vax program.
Some employers have already started using the stick versus the carrot, so to speak. They're requiring vaccinations or they're asking for proof of vaccination. Otherwise, you have a COVID test. Why do we need the vaccination program when perhaps private industries could maybe take it upon themselves to increase the vaccination rate anyway?
Well, the private industries are taking it upon themselves to increase it, and they're doing a good job in using their methodology and their protocols. And as you say, the stick instead of the carrot. We're using a carrot to try to encourage people, and maybe the combination of both of those, or the idea that they have the possibility. We're talking about the chance to win a lot of money. It's a better chance than you have than going down to Gene to buy a lottery ticket, I can assure you that.
Speaking on that, is Nevada going to get a lottery sometime soon now that we've opened this door, so to speak?
I'm not anticipating a lottery. It wasn't brought up at the last legislative session. If a legislator brings that bill forward, obviously we'd have the discussions, but I haven't heard any motion in that regard.
Let's pivot to jobs now. The governor's Office of Economic Development said that 50,000 jobs are not going to return to southern Nevada. So how can the state fill this gap as much as possible, especially because unemployment is about to end? The extra benefits from the feds.
Yeah, the extra benefit is going to be coming to an end, I believe, in September. We are going to lose some of our workforce as a result of some of these businesses are not opening back up. Some of the hotel resorts that you see, the casinos, have not opened back up. I don't know if they will. We're going to do more retraining in order to get people retrained for other jobs if they lost their job as a result of a business closure. And also do what we can through GoEd, the Office of Economic Development, to diversify our economy and make more options available for folks in order to get employment and start a new career if the career that they had is being basically moved away.
We are always going to be a hospitality and a convention hub, but what else, what kind of industries can Nevada, or is your office looking to pivot to add more jobs and make our economy more diverse?
Well, there's a lot we can do in the green energy area, the electrification of electric highways, some infrastructure bills that are going through both on the state level and the federal level. We funded the infrastructure bank for the first time to $75 million, which is going to give us an opportunity to leverage that money into more development and more jobs and more construction, which puts people to work. And those are good paying jobs. Those aren't necessarily minimum wage jobs. And then you're seeing all over town a lot of things popping up, a lot more warehousing, a lot more distribution between Amazon and Google and those sort of things. So there's opportunities available. We're pursuing every one, and I'm proud of the work that GOIT is doing to attract those folks here and working with the LVGEA to get the word out there that, Nevada and Las Vegas, Clark County are open for business. We're a great business climate, encouraging people to come here.
Conventions are coming back slowly, but they are. International travel is still a big hurdle. How can the state help revive this crucial portion of Southern Nevada's economy?
Well, you're right. Conventions are coming back. I had the pleasure of being at the ribbon cutting for the World of Concrete show that we had a couple weeks back. This past weekend, my wife and I stopped by Bear-Jackson auto auction, which is a big economic impact into the state of Nevada. I mean, when you see the number of people that are there for that auction are buying cars and spending money and taking up hotel rooms and eating and shopping and dining and those sort of things, those are all benefits. But what I'm hearing from our resort partners is they're very optimistic. In the fourth quarter, a lot of it is booked up already. They're booking up the third quarter. These dates are starting to fill up. And I think you're going to see our economy coming back stronger and stronger as we move into the year.
Let's talk about housing. Southern Nevada to Northern Nevada, the exodus from California is real. Housing prices are skyrocketing, and a lot of people are asking themselves, can I afford to live in Nevada? Can I afford to buy in Nevada? How can we keep Nevada livable for Nevadans?
Well, we're doing what we can on the housing front. It is a difficult situation. You're absolutely right. The cost of raw materials has gone up exponentially in the last year or so. The cost of land has gone up, and the cost of labor, to build these homes has gone up. And unfortunately, the wages have not kept pace with that. We're doing what we can. A lot of this is done through local jurisdictions, their zoning rules and their requirements. When I was on the county commission, we dealt with this every month in terms of what's required of the builders. And the more you require, the more costly a home is going to be. But we need to keep in mind that it's very, very difficult for the young people, the new people, to be able to break into the market and have their first home. Now, somebody that's upsizing or downsizing, you've got one asset, you're disposing of that one to buy a new one. At least you benefited from some of this exponential growth. But when you're just getting into the market, it makes it very, very difficult for people to do that. And we're cognizant of that fact. We're working with the federal government. We need to have more land, hopefully released in some of these areas, but it's a difficult balancing act because we've got a water situation on one hand, we've got a shortage of housing on the other hand, an increase in the price of housing, and we're working to build that and try to find a good balancing point.
On that point, on the drought, any other measures to address this as the levels at Lake Mead keep dropping?
Well, I'm very familiar with the situation as it relates to the drought, and I spent 10 years on the county commission and the water district and the water authority in dealing with that. At the state level, I think we made good inroads. We passed a bill that was proposed to remove all non-functional turf, which is going to save us, tens of thousands of acre feet per year, which is going to definitely help in a lot of homes and a lot of development, make more water available. I think what you're seeing with the drought is just a clear demonstration that global warming is real. I mean, we're having heat that's been basically unbearable for a lot of people, and the level is going down at the lake, and we're concerned about that, but we're working with our federal delegation who've been extremely supportive to do whatever we can to make sure that doesn't go much further.
Is there any other measures that Nevada needs to take?
As it relates to water, the best thing we can do in Nevada is conservation. I mean, the water that's used inside of a house, we can recirculate, you can reclaim a lot of that water. It's put back in the lake and we take it back out again. It's the water that goes outside, that you're watering a lawn, or if you're watering or washing your car in your driveway, those sort of things. That water we can't recapture. So that water is a precious commodity that's lost. So that's why I commend the Water Authority for for being so aggressive in terms of removing non-functional turf. And people need to look at that with their own homes. If they can remove some of that grass, they can save a lot of water and at the same time save a lot of money, as a result of not having to pay those water bills.
Is there anything I didn't ask that you'd like to mention, or any message you'd like to relay to all our viewers at home?
No, I think you've done a fine job. I appreciate the opportunity. I would ask everybody, please, if you haven't been vaccinated yet, go online. You can find out where all the vaccination pop-ups are. Encourage you to go to get the vaccine. It's safe, it's free, and it'll protect you from any severe cases of the disease, of the virus. And I think we'll all be better off as a result of that, and we can continue to expand and open up our economy, get people back to work, and keep things moving.
I do have another question for you. So Resorts World is opening Thursday. It's the first time in more than a decade something has come from the ground up. How is this kind of a ray of hope for Clark County as the pandemic is winding down?
It's incredibly exciting to have that happen, and that was a decision I made early on during the pandemic. All jobs are essential. All people's livelihoods obviously are essential, but we made construction jobs an essential protected type industry where they worked during the pandemic. And as a result of that, they were able to get to this Thursday and open up. We had the same thing with Allegiant Stadium and the West Hall of the Convention Center. That employed tens of thousands of people in Southern Nevada here in skilled labor jobs that now we're getting the benefit from that. These properties opening up. I think you're going to have the permanent jobs as a result of that. It's going to attract more business, more tourists coming here. And there's a lot of ancillary businesses associated with that that are going to get benefit. So it's a win all the way around to have that project come to this fruition. I wish them nothing but the best with the property. It's exciting. I drove by the other day, the front of the Resorts World. It's something that, I haven't seen because I've been up north a lot, but it looks amazing. And I think they've done a great job with the property and looking forward to seeing it on the inside.
Oh, I do have one more question. You have several opponents have announced their names so far in the race for governor. Your thoughts on them, from the mayor of North Las Vegas to Sheriff Lombardo?
Yeah, there's a couple that have announced, I think 4. And I'm focusing right now on my job as governor. And coming out of the pandemic, we just finished a great legislative session and signed a lot of bills into law. And I'm looking forward to when we get into the election. I am running for re-election, but when we get into the full campaign, I'm happy to debate with these folks and see how things go. And it'll be up to them to pick a candidate to come up against me. So it'll be an interesting summer.
That it will be. Thank you so much, Governor, for your time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.